Kris Knoblauch put his political pants on and said something without saying something. And a lot has been made of this quote, so let's go ahead and play it.
Kris, why do you think it's been so difficult for your team to draw penalties in this series so far?
I think.
So do I. I think.
I've heard a lot about in the past as being a spectator, not part of the NHL, not as a coach. The NHL, sometimes the standard gets changed a little bit. They would definitely want to make sure it's a penalty. Or in the regular season, maybe some things get let go. That's obviously unfortunate for us. We've got a very good power play, and we win a lot of games on the power play. It's unfortunate for us that it's tougher to draw penalties in the off season or in the playoffs, than it is regular season. But that being said, I think the standard's the same both for both teams. I'm not saying that it's unfair for us, but we would like the same standard.
So I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Here, I want to here, can you actually play that again? Like just the first few seconds, because I'm a really good mind reader. I'm a really good mind reader.
Kris, why do you think it's been so difficult for your team to draw penalties in this series so far?
I think.
All right, Kris, we talked about this at home. Let's list off all the things you can buy with $25,000. You can get a new car.
I've heard a lot about in the past.
He's just thinking of ways to not get fined there. That's all he's doing. Diplomatic answer, managed to avoid the fine. Reporter asked their question. They did their job. Good for all involved, I guess. I don't know. They also decided they're done with fines for coaches, too. Oh, you know what I never ranted about? But now that it's here, Nikita Zadorov accused refs of rigging games and didn't get fined for it. And any coach would have been fined $25,000 on the
I don't remember the quote from the...
Oh, protecting their investment.
They have to protect their investment. So basically, McDavid can do, or you can't do anything to McDavid. So not only is he saying it's rigged, the system is rigged in favor of McDavid, he's saying the punishment that I got for my infraction against McDavid is bullshit because the league protects this guy. Any coach, if Rick Tocchet had said that, he'd be $25,000 lighter. But Zadorov said it, and we all went, lol.
Well, so this is what I wanted to ask, because the Dallas Stars have not been a crazy penalty team throughout the playoffs at all. Is it a referee thing, or is it the Dallas Stars are playing a bit cleaner? Because I have to tell you, I'm watching the penalties that the Oilers take, and I'm thinking about Evander Kane with a forearm to the face, which was called an elbowing call. I'm talking about Connor McDavid, high stick to the face. Some of the calls that they've taken are calls that the referees literally cannot ignore. There was a Dylan Holloway holding call where everybody was like, what the hell was that? And agreed, that was game one. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, but like keep your stick down.
Well, I wonder if part of the reason it feels like the Oilers aren't getting enough is there was an insane amount of power plays back and forth in the Oilers-Canucks series.
Yeah.
And I mean, these guys talk. I wonder if the conversation was, you know what? Too much. They talk like they get graded on their performance. And guys, you called too much in the Edmonton Vancouver.
They called
series.
a lot. They called a lot.
Dial it back. Like every time, it's like 3-4 power plays in the first period every game. And I'm like, okay, holy shit, this is eventually going to dry up.
Yep.
It's drying up.
Yep.
It's drying up, and it's going to continue to dry up. So, I mean, I was going to say, I don't know, play dirtier.
Well, is that not what the Oilers? I mean, the Oilers have some of the penalties they've taken have been objectively stupid. Like you can't take some of these, and this has been a very even series through 2 games. That to me is not a great. I wouldn't answer to that if I were him. And the reason I say that is obviously he doesn't want to piss off the refs because then you know what's going to happen. Everybody knows. But when I look at that, I go, that is a coach acknowledging frustration, and that comment isn't going to get him anywhere.
Nope. And I think Oilers fans and the Oilers are always going to feel like they get the short end of the stick when it comes to the refs because, like we discussed before the series even began, at maximum they call 25% of the infractions that happen to Connor McDavid are called penalties.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen, we saw the when Winnipeg somehow beat Edmonton in 2021.
Oh, that was a disgrace.
It was the refereeing was outrageous, and they have every reason to be upset about that. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, yeah, but the Oilers are making. See, here's the thing: the obvious call the ref is going to make. If it's a high sticking, if it's an egregious elbow, you'd think they are going to call it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Maybe just take less penalties because the Oilers have looked good 5-on-5, really good.
They're starting to look better. Yeah, they're definitely starting to look better.
I like them 5-on-5 against Dallas, especially in the last game.
Yeah, I think the day between playoff games is the worst.
Why?
Hockey Twitter is the worst when there's no games because all you have are your thoughts. Like you don't have anything to react to. You already reacted, right? Like you had your out loud reaction when the game happened. Then you probably said something afterwards. Then you slept on it and you had dreams about it. And you woke up and because it's the playoffs, you went, and another thing. And then it just snowballs into this thing until it's a boulder by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill. And then you got to do it again next game. Like I think there's a mental atrophy that comes with a deep playoff run. I said I think because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
How could you know?
How could I know?
So it's weird that Kris Knoblauch's reacting to the penalties and stuff out of the Saturday game because were penalties not even on Saturday?
I think that he was upset that they were even because he felt the aggrieved party and that Dallas should have taken more.
Right, and I feel like even if they were, because I'm pretty sure they were even in terms of like the penalties called, and the last one was like Evander Kane with like a minute left in the game. So if anything, Edmonton had the advantage.
Yeah,
like in terms of power play opportunities, and then in game one, you won.
You won.
so it's not even that bad. I don't feel like penalties are the thing to complain about in this series.
I think the argument, like,
I'm right. I'm with you, Jesse.
Anthony Edwards was upset last night because I think it was Game 3, Minnesota-Dallas. The Mavericks had like 38 free throws to Minnesota's 17 or something like that, and he said that. But then I remember a game from earlier this season where the Raptors got completely jobbed in a game against the Lakers, and LeBron James got asked about it, and he goes, "Well, I thought they took fouls and we didn't." Right? So, like, just because a game has an equal amount of power plays doesn't mean it was called well. What I would say to that is the Oilers killed the Stars in the first period of that game. Mm-hmm. The whole rest of the game was the Stars taking back ground.
Yep.
So, like, if we're going to go with who was the better team, like who drove play, who probably had the puck more, I don't know what the actual stat is, but just anecdotally from watching it, I thought it was Dallas.